Hello everyone, today I'm here to do my December wrap-ups, the last wrap-up of 2017, so exciting. So this month I read, how many books did I read? I read 7 books for the last month of the year. There's only one that I was supposed to read that I didn't get to, but honestly at the end of the month I just was like, I think I need to take a break from reading. So as always in my wrap-ups, I'm going to start with my least favorite, working up to my favorite of the month. The first book I want to talk about is Top 10 by Katie Codugno. I got this from the library, so I don't have it, so here's a picture. This book, I gave it a 2 stars. I have learned with Katie Codugno's books in general that I like her earlier stuff much more than her newer stuff. So she has 4 books. Her very first book she ever published, How to Love, I love that book. Then she published 99 Days, which I enjoyed, but not as much. And then it was Fireworks, which I also read this year, which I did not like. And then it was Top 10, which just got released like last month. And I just did not enjoy it. It's all about these 2 friends that have been best friends for like their entire high school year. And the book's called Top 10. So it goes back to like their top 10 friendship moments. It was very laid out, very weird. So each chapter would be like moment number 10. That was their favorite memory of their high school year together. And it would just be very like, sometimes it would be freshmen, sometimes it would be, it just jumped all over the place timeline. Also the characters did not enjoy them as well. They were both best friends, but they also maybe had some chemistry as well. And they had to deal with that, which I don't mind that at all. But the characters were just so, I don't know, like that. I don't think they were even great friends, honestly, because they both treated each other not so great sometimes, and then they wouldn't care about each other. As I say, I really love her writing, and it's very quickly, and you can very quickly get into it and immerse yourself in it, no problem. When I finish some of her books, I'm just like, and that's kind of what I felt about Top 10. So I don't think I would recommend it if you're looking for a good Katie Codugno book. I'll always say How to Love. All of her characters she writes in every single novel, I'm not in love with. I feel like she writes very unlikable characters, so if that's your thing, go for it. But overall, I was just very underwhelmed by this book. The next book I want to talk about is 12 Dares of Crysta by Marissa Burt. This is a middle grade novel. It's all about this girl named, what's your name? Crysta, obviously. Duh, Heather. That's what the title is. And basically her parents tell her that they are divorcing and that her mom's going to Europe for the winter break and she wants to date Crysta with her. And Crysta's very unhappy about that because they are very, very much Christmas oriented, and they do a scavenger hunt every single year, and her dad actually makes a scavenger hunt for her in Europe. So that's what this book's all about. Overall, it was okay. It wasn't the best. Crysta was a very kind of unlikable character. She was very whiny, but then I was like, she's like 12 or 13, so of course she's gonna be. Overall, it was a good middle of the road book for me. I'd say it definitely gave me Christmas vibes, especially because it was set in Europe and it was on a scavenger hunt all throughout Europe during the Christmas, which was amazing. So I gave this one a 3 out of 5, like just solid middle of the road book for me. Another Christmas book I want to talk about is My New Crush Gave to Me by Shauna Petrov. I liked this book. It was definitely very, very cute. If you're looking for a cute Christmassy book with not a ton of depth, this is a great book for you. So this follows our main character Charlie, and Charlie does not want to go to this party alone, like this New Year's party that she goes to every year, because her boyfriend just broke up with her. So she decides to find a guy, and then she decides this one guy that she never really thought about before that is like her soulmate now. Like it's like a, I wish I could snap, but I can't. But it's like that. It's like she sees him, she's like, oh yeah, that guy's my soulmate. I forgot I liked him, and I'm like, what? Decides to like make it her mission to get Tio to take her to this party. So she decides to finagle like Secret Santa and for her to get his name, so she's his Secret Santa. The only problem is, because you know she just made this her mind up literally 2 seconds ago, she knows nothing about Tio. So in comes in JD, Tio's cousin, to help her like extract and make these perfect gifts for Tio. And of course you can guess what's gonna happen. Everyone can. I did. And either way, it was adorable. I give this one also a 3 out of 5, maybe like a 3.25. It was just Christmassy and adorable, and either way, it was a cute Christmassy book though. I would recommend it for that matter. The next book I'm going to talk about is Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. This is another YA contemporary novel. This one is a very, very short and sweet novel. I actually did a mashup review on this book and a couple other books I'll mention. This follows our main character Claudia, who somehow gets roped pretty much into a Midsummer Night's Dream play at her school with her adjoining school. It's an all-boys school, and it's about her dealing with that, with you know, the play, and she was in the wardrobe department. She also meets a guy, and there's romance there, but she's also making friends. Overall, I really did enjoy this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I just found it to be a little bit lackluster. I kind of wanted more depth, more something, and my main complaint with this book is the romance. The romance I felt was very, very much not that great. I didn't feel any sparks between our character, I didn't feel any sparks between our romantic pairing in this book. I didn't feel any chemistry. It was just kind of happened because they were there. So I don't know, maybe the only one that feels that way, but overall, if you're looking for a great kind of like coming of age story of like learning who you are, embracing yourself, and making new friends, this is a great book for you. I do love the way Emma Mills writes. It's very, very much simplistic to get into, but with a little bit of depth. But overall, a 4 out of 5, definitely a good contemporary novel. If you're looking for a good one, I highly recommend this one. The next book I want to talk about is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5. I was not expecting to give this book that high a rating. I have heard very, very mixed reviews on this book. Like, this book is about like a take on A Christmas Carol. So we follow our main character, Holly Chase, who is a Scrooge pretty much in all sense of the ways. She's a rich girl. She takes everybody for granted. She doesn't care about everybody. She says whatevs a lot. She's like, whatevs. And basically one Christmas, all the ghosts of Christmases past, future, and present, all of them come to visit her to try to change her ways, and she wakes up the next day and she does not change her ways, so she dies. That's not spoiling for you. It's in the book jacket. And when she dies, she goes to like the afterlife, but she actually becomes the new ghost of Christmas past. So basically that's where this book takes place, is her being the ghost of Christmas past. And every year they pick one Scrooge because she works for this place called Project Scrooge. And they pick a Scrooge to help save, to make them not so Scrooge-like anymore. And this year is very different because the Scrooge is a 17-year-old boy and she very, very much connects with him. And that's all I'm going to tell you. I've already given you a lot. But either way, I loved this book. I was not expecting to. I'd say if you're a Cynthia Hand fan, which I have read majority of her books, she wrote the Unearthly trilogy, which I really, really enjoy. This is not the same writing style. If you've read her other book, which she actually co-wrote with that was called My Lady Jane. It was a very, very much comedic book, very funny, very satire and witty. That is the writing style 100% in this book. This book will make you laugh. You'll be like witty. And I think a lot of people complain about the character Holly Chase, how she's so unlikable and just the worst. Yeah, that's the point, because she's literally a Scrooge. You know who likes Scrooge when they first meet him on the Christmas Carol? Nobody. They're not like, I'm rooting for that guy. No, you're like, that guy's the worst. So it takes development, of course. So with this book, we saw the development very, very slowly with our main character, Holly Chase. But of course, in the beginning, you hate her. You just like, are like, you're the worst person in the world. You're the definition of horrible. So I don't understand why it has so many bad reviews and people are like, the main character's horrible. That is the exact point of this entire book. So I really enjoyed it. If you're looking for a great Christmas book, I would highly recommend this book. It made me laugh. It made me cry. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5. The more I think about it, it may move closer to 5. I just really loved it. It's a very underrated gem and a very unpopular opinion because a lot of people seem to hate this book, but I don't see why. It was so funny, so good. And the next book I want to talk about is Love, Life, and the List by Casey West. This is her newest release book, and it's my new favorite Casey West book. I really enjoyed it. This is all about a girl named Abby who is a painter, and she really wants to enter her paintings into this gallery, but she pretty much gets turned down by the gallery owner, saying that she does not have enough heart and not enough life experience to be in this gallery. So she decides to create herself a heart list, like 10 things to do in a month to make her have more heart, to get more life experience, to enter into this gallery again. And it's all about that. It's all about her, also her best friend Cooper, who she has feelings for, unrequited feelings, I should say. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. It's adorable. Casey West writes the most cotton candy, sugar spun fluff that you just cannot help but just devour. I really enjoyed this book. P.S. I Like You used to be my favorite book by her, but I love this book, guys. So adorable. So I gave this one also a 4.5 out of 5. I highly recommend it if you're looking for something cute, sugary, and sweet. Perfect. And then I want to talk about The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. This is the only book this month that got its own video review. I'll link it right here for you to see. This is pretty much 6 short stories set in the Grisha universe, and they're all illustrated. If you can see, the illustrations are stunning in this book, and they'll kind of build along. I highly recommend you watch my review. It's spoiler free. I really go into my thoughts of each individual story. I love this one. If you're a fan of like creepy tales and like dark retellings, this is a great book to read. And you also do not have to read any of her previous books to get into this book. it's not a requirement at all. And these are just literally, a lot of them are kind of fairy tale retellings. We have kind of a Little Mermaid retelling, we have a Nutcracker retelling, and a few of them are just kind of stories in general that are kind of, I would compare them to Grimm's fairy tales, just kind of creepy. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, I have a video review for it, so definitely check it out if you want to hear more thoughts and more in depth about each of the stories. And my favorite book that I read this month is not surprising at all, and that is Far from the Tree by Robin Benway. Oh guys, I love this book. I read Emmy and Oliver by her last month and also really loved it as well. This book is literally just about family. It's all about family. There's no romance in it. There's no swoon-worthy stuff in it. It's about these siblings that find each other because they all learn that they're biological, like, siblings, and each of them, and they decide to go find their biological mother together. But it's mainly about these siblings coming together and learning that they share the same mom, and how each of them have very, very different lives, but they're all entwined because they're siblings. It was very, very beautiful. This book is full of like adoption, foster care systems, you know, giving up your baby for adoption, learning to deal with families. It's just a heartfelt, beautiful book. I cannot recommend it enough. I believe it just won an award. I love the way Robin Benway writes. It'll make you cry, full of heartwarming feelings and also heartache. All these three siblings are so very different, but they're all so amazing together. It's just a perfect family book that just really encompasses all things family. So I love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Would highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, I did one Mash It review for the month, and I talked about all 3 of these books in their own video, so I'll leave that right here for you to see. And I go into even more depth than what I did today about what I thought of each one of these, so highly recommend that. Those are all the books I read in December, so here's to wrapping up my 2017 reading year. It was a great reading year. It was a great reading month, in my opinion. I read the majority of the books I read. I really, really enjoyed, so can't be wrong with that. Let me know what you guys read this December. Did you read a lot of Christmassy books or not? I would love to hear. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.